Bonjour à tous, bienvenue. Welcome to a tutorial by Madame Carole. Today we're going to be talking about direct object pronouns. We're going to be taking a couple of notes over what they are, where to put them, and when to use them en français. Yeah? Okay. So first is the question, what is a direct object? That's a great question. So a direct object is a noun that directly receives the action of the verb. So that's the definition of what it is. So it answers the question, who or what is being verbed? So we're going to ask ourselves that question, who or what is being verbed, in order to find the direct object. So for example, the girl throws her brother the ball. So we ask the question, what is being thrown? And the answer to that is the ball, right? She's not throwing her brother. So the girl throws her brother the ball. The ball is what is being thrown. So that is the direct object, right? So in English, sometimes we can kind of flip-flop where we put the direct object, because we could also say the girl throws the ball to her brother, right? But in either sentence, the ball is still the direct object because that is what is being thrown. So that's how it works in English. It's a little bit different in French, but it's still going to answer the question, who or what is being verbed. So in English, what are our direct object pronouns? So we have him, her, it, them, me, you, us. Right? Those are our direct object pronouns in English. And en français, nous avons le singulier et masculin, féminin, so masculine, feminine, singular, plural. So singular, we have me, te, and le. So we have me, you, and him. And feminine, me, te, and la. So me, you, if me is a girl and you is a girl. And la, her. And then before a vowel, those will all change to M apostrophe, T apostrophe, L apostrophe. Yeah? And for plural, we have nous, vous, les for masculine. So us, you, formal, or you all, and them. And you notice that these do not change based on feminine or before a vowel. They're all going to stay nous, vous, les, nous, vous, les, nous, vous, les. So where do we put these French direct object pronouns? Right? So it depends on the sentence and the verbs that are in that sentence. So if there's just one verb, so if it's a simple tense, so for instance, present tense, imparfait, conditionnel, futur simple, it needs to go before the verb. Right? So je mets le couteau sur la table. What is being put on the table? Le couteau. So we're going to use the le, it's masculine singular. Je le mets sur la table, right? And it goes before our one singular verb. In the present tense, I put it on the table. Je le mets sur la table. If there's an infinitive, it goes before the infinitive, because that's the verb that it is connected to. So je vais mettre le couteau sur la table. I am going to put the knife on the table. Je vais le mettre sur la table. Yeah, so I am going to put it on the table. So the knife, or it, is the object of to put and not to go. So that is why it needs to go before mettre. In the passé composé, it needs to go before the helper verb, and there is little asterisks here, so we're going to kind of get to what that is in the next slide, but in general, it needs to go before the helper verb, avant l'auxiliaire. J'ai mis le couteau sur la table. Je l'ai mis sur la table. Yeah, so I put the knife on the table. Je l'ai mis, I put it on the table. Right? And the reason why we're going to put it before the helper verb is because aimer is actually one verb. Right? It has two parts, but it is one verb. It is the verb mettre in the passé composé, and it needs to go before the verb, before the whole verb, and that includes helper verb and past participle. In negative commands, it goes before the verb, so just like it would regularly, all you're going to do is drop the subject pronoun to make it a command. So, ne mets pas le couteau sur la table. Don't put the knife on the table. Ne le mets pas sur la table. Don't put it on the table. And it's going to go before your verb here. So you can kind of see a pattern, right? Before the verb, before the infinitive, before the helper verb, before the verb. So in French, the rule is that direct object pronouns go before the verb they're connected to. However, we know there's always an exception, and that exception is in affirmative commands. Affirmative commands come after the verb, and you include a hyphen. So, mets le couteau sur la table, mets le sur la table, right? Put the knife on the table, put it sur la table on the table, mets le sur la table. So that is our one exception, is that in affirmative commands, it's going to come after the verb instead of before. Ah, so our little asterisk that we had here in the passé composé goes before the helper verb, and here's our example that we had. Our little extra rule is that in the passé composé, the past participle must agree with a preceding direct object. That means that it comes before the verb. So here, j'ai mis le couteau sur la table. Le couteau is masculine singular, so when we put it beforehand, we don't need to add anything to the very end. However, j'ai mis la fourchette sur la table. La fourchette is feminine, singular, so we need to add an extra E to mise. Je l'ai mise sur la table. Yeah, so this is only in the passé composé. We need to make that past participle agree with a preceding direct object. So when me, tu, nous, and vous is direct, or with le, la, and les. Pratiquons. So press pause and write these down in your notes. You're going to rewrite the sentences using either le, la, l'apostrophe, or les. So pause the video, write them in the notes, and then press play, and we'll go through the answers. On y va. So let's look at these answers, right? So numéro 1, je lis ce livre-ci. Ce livre-ci is our direct object, right? What is being read? This book here. And ce livre-ci is masculine singular, so we're going to replace it with le, and it goes before our one verb, je le lis, right? I am reading it. 2, nous écoutons la radio. La radio is feminine singular. It's going to be replaced by la, and before our vowel is going to change to l'apostrophe. Nous l'écoutons, right? We are listening to it. Yeah, nous l'écoutons. 3, il amène ses sœurs. Ses sœurs is plural feminine, so it's going to be replaced by les. Il les amène before our one verb. 4, 5, et 6 were all passé composé, so it needs to go before our helper verb, right before both parts of our verb. So tu as oublié les devoirs. Les devoirs is masculine plural. When we put it before avoir, tu les as oubliés, we need to add an S to our past participle to agree with their preceding direct object, which is les, and it is masculine plural, so we need to add S. 5, elles ont pris la cuillère. La cuillère is feminine singular, replaced by la. Elles l'ont prise. And we need to add an extra E here because it is feminine singular. This l'apostrophe. Elles l'ont prise. 6, j'ai mangé son gâteau. Son gâteau, masculine singular, so replaced by le, goes before our helper verb. Je l'ai mangé. I ate it. Je l'ai mangé. 7, 8, and 9 was all with an infinitive. It needs to go before your infinitive. So, tu vas prendre le carnet. Tu vas le prendre. Yeah, so le carnet, masculine singular, and our direct object pronoun needs to go before our infinitive. You are going to take it. Nous allons apporter la tarte. Nous allons l'apporter. We are going to bring it. It needs to go before your infinitive. Changes to l'apostrophe before our vowel a. Et 9, ils vont chercher les sodas. Les sodas, masculine plural. Ils vont les chercher. Yeah, before our infinitive. They are going to look for them. Ils vont les chercher. On continue. There's a couple more notes that we need to talk about. When we're using a direct object pronoun with voilà and voici, so there is or here is, the pronoun goes before voilà and voici. Yeah? Voilà les livres. Here are the books. Les voilà. Here they are. Voici mon cahier. Here is my workbook. Le voici. Here it is. Right? So again, we still have this rule that it goes before our verb, before our words. Yeah? For inverted questions, the pronoun still goes before the verb. It's still going to follow our same rule. So, avez-vous vu ce film? L'avez-vous vu? Yeah, and our l'apostrophe still going to go before our helper verb. So even though it looks kind of funky, right, it goes before our helper verb for passé composé. N'as-tu pas tes papiers? Ne les as-tu pas? right? So tes papiers, masculine plural, replaced by les. It needs to go before our verb still. Ne les as-tu pas, right? Don't you have them? So for the last time, press pause and go through and rewrite the following sentences using le, la, elle, apostrophe, and les, practicing our direct object pronouns, again with our new notes with voici, voilà, and inverted questions. So let's look at these correct answers. So numéro 1, 2, 3, we had voici, voilà, and voici. So again, our direct object pronouns need to go before that word. So numéro 1, voici votre cahier. Votre cahier is masculine, singular. Le voici. Voilà mes stylos, masculine plural. Les voilà. Voici Marc et toi. Voilà, c'est vous voici. Désolé, voilà, I kind of snuck in that personal pronoun here. Vous voici, bien, here you are, bien, vous voici. 4. Amène-t-il son petit frère? Son petit frère, masculine singular. L'amène-t-il? It needs to go before your verb. Even though it's an inverted question, still needs to go before your verb. L'amène-t-il? Bien, is he bringing him? 5. Prenez-vous toujours cette crème? La prenez-vous toujours? Bien, la still needs to go before your verb. Bien. Et 6 et 7, c'était passé composé. As-tu oublié les devoirs? Les as-tu oubliés avec S, right? So even in the inverted question, we need to make sure that past participle agrees with a preceding direct object. Okay? Et avez-vous fini votre rédaction? L'avez-vous fini avec parce que rédaction, c'est féminin. Bien, l'avez-vous fini? Et 8 et 9, avec infinitif, peux-tu apporter les pommes? Peux-tu les apporter? Hein? So let's go before your infinitive. Can you bring them? Peux-tu les apporter? Hein? Et 9, vont-ils chercher Madeleine? Are they going to get Madeleine? Vont-ils la chercher? It needs to come before your infinitive. Are they going to look for her? Vont-ils la chercher? Hein? Merci beaucoup. I hope that this video helped you a little bit more with direct object pronouns, both with me, tu, nous, and vous, and le, la, and les. Merci beaucoup et au revoir.